Hello Nissan Skyline fans, so we have a historic cartoon version to come in here. It's the Skyline GT number 39, and it's a S54 from 1964. This is Nissan's website. It says it was originally developed for the second Japanese Grand Prix. It didn't win the race, but it did lead to a history of the GTR and Skylines being probably the preeminent Japanese car, right? Or preeminent Japanese sports car? I don't know. I would say so. As much as I like the RX-7, the Skyline has been around a lot longer. Okay, let's get this out. It's just loose on the base. Alright. Let's see what cartoonish proportions manage to come through or not. So yeah, the grill looks pretty good to that one. Even the turn signals and all that. The livery, as simple as the car is, it's there. Alright. I don't know if this is a replica of this rear view, but it's the only rear view I could find. And it looks pretty good, I think. Alright, let's take a closer look here. So the windows on this one are quite transparent. Usually they're heavily smoked to try to hide the motor. But you see, not this time around. That motor's just plain hanging out. It doesn't really bother me too much. I'm not bothered by the motor. Okay, the tires, yeah, they're alright. The wheels are pretty good. They're like stamped steel wheels with 4 lug nuts. That's pretty accurate to the real car. Although I think these are standard wheels for ChoroQs. But they just happen to be the same type as what's on that Skyline. Alright, so the tampo printing is great. And then what is that? I don't know what that is. HM? I don't know. Hasemi Racing or something? No idea. This bump though has silver and orange on it, so that looks good. There's a little silver stripe going across this body here. This model's quite old. You know, it's cracking. The paint is cracking. Which is odd because it's plastic, it's not die cast. How old is this? 2003. It's not very, very old, but it's, you know, it definitely has its age. Alright, well, silver painted bumpers, license plate, and lights, grill, all that stuff. And I really like that it has the taped off headlights. And the headlights are actually the same clear plastic. I think this entire body is one piece of clear plastic, and then they just painted it all. Taillights look good. They actually have some molded details, and then those things, I would imagine maybe they're the backup lights, or maybe turn signals. Alright. Oh, this is nice. You don't see badging usually. So it says Prince 2000, GT2 class, little fuel filler? Yeah, that's a fuel filler. And then, yeah, I can see this paint. So that's unfortunate. Apparently, it's not... Well, look at that. There's a bubble there as well. I don't know if that's paint rash or what. How do you get paint rash on a plastic body? So, yeah. Alright, so be mindful that, yeah, these older ChoroQs, the paint can crack. So that's too bad. I think they have to paint it thick because they're trying to cover up the clear plastic. So if you look at the bottom, you can actually see how it's transparent right here, and the blue is covering it up. So they used a lot of blue to cover it up. What would have been smarter is if they put a thin coat of silver and then blue to help, you know, hide it. But yeah, I'm sure they weren't thinking about longevity on a toy car, especially almost 20 years ago. Well, look at this. I was expecting a sticker. Every one I've seen with an opening hood to date has a sticker, but this is actually 3-dimensional, and this actually has better detail than most 1/64 scale engines. I mean, this literally has like all the ignition wires going to the cylinders. That's pretty amazing. That is really impressive. Wow. That's... It's still a gimmick, you know, I don't know. Well, no, I can still see those panel gaps quite a bit. They're not as bad as a die-cast panel gap, but that panel gap is still wider than that panel gap, so it's definitely noticeable. But at least it's got a nice engine. Really interesting. It's weird that they would even, put that much effort into a toy car like this. You know? Okay, well, it says what the car is. It's Skyline S54B racing version. So there's something called the Skyline Heritage Collection, and that's what this came from. Yep, there it is again. All right. So pretty cool. Clear part, tailpipes, part of the base here. I'm not going to do a 3D printed wheel swap because these wheels look just like the real car, so there's no reason to. Yeah, I suppose I could use putty and lower the suspension on this, but I think I'll just leave it for now. Yeah, well, what do you guys think? Should I lower it or not? Alright, I'm gonna lower it. I have the putty right here, so why not? So that's how they got that motor in there. There's this plastic piece and that. Interesting. But yeah, so there's no silver paint underneath the blue, and so that's why they have to use so much thick blue, and that's why it cracks, because it is so thick, that paint. That's what I'm guessing. I'm just looking at the construction. Why are these angled pieces there? Maybe the headlights? Alright, well, let's get this motor out of here. I'm gonna pop in my own fake motor housing here, so I don't have to use as much putty. Put this back here. Don't want to strip that thing out. Alright. I gotta come back with the tires with putty. Alright, so I, remove the wheels from the axles, and then I use some Potafix Pro putty to set them so it's pretty much a racing stance now. And you'll see it's next to this 1/64 scale made by ChoroQ, so you can see the cartoonized version of it. It's obviously a lot wider than the real 1/64 and a lot taller, but that's what gives it the funnier appearance, and that's what I like it. Let's see, I'm going to pull out a couple other Skylines from ChoroQ. We have the Hakosoka, and this R34 Pennzoil from the Super GT. What else do I have here? Oh, the iconic Silhouette Racer. Man, that's one of my favorites for sure. And also another favorite is a Ken Mary, and that one's got some Hot Wheels Real Riders on it. But all the other ones have 3D printed wheels of my own making. Okay. Here's a top view if you want to compare to that 64. Yeah. Okay, well, let's let this guy spin on its own. So, another piece of automotive history in cartoon form, and I am okay with that. I like it. So, I'm really surprised about the engine detail on this. It's better than most engines in 1/64, so it's quite amazing. I don't know what these things really cost when they were brand new. If anyone knows, I mean, what did this thing is from 2003, but it's definitely not a normal ChoroQ. It came in a plastic case. So if any veterans know, please leave a comment. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.